Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? What is happening? Welcome back to, of course, the Sports Lovers, where we talk everything relating to sports. And when it's NFL, soccer, MLB, you name it, we're probably going to be talking about it here on the channel. In today's final video of the day, we, of course, have our NFL Week Number 2 reactions. We're going to talk about the games, break the games down, so hopefully, of course, you guys will enjoy this video. But first, if you are new to the channel, you already know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe, and turn that bell on as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Tomorrow, we will have Big Ten reactions and predictions, and of course, we'll have our NFL predictions as well. So stay tuned for those videos. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out on any of our latest videos. Thank you all so much for joining us here on the channel today. And without further ado, let us go ahead and hop into our NFL Week Number 2 reactions. So kicking us off on Thursday Night Football, we had the Commanders going into Green Bay here. Looking off of my computer, reading the stats to you guys because, again, that's how we do these reactions. First, obviously, team of the day, the Commanders. Jaden Daniels, 24-42. 200 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, turn it on in that second half. In the first half, he did struggle, and obviously they did not put up a lot of points. However, Austin Eckler, 17 yards of rushing on the day. Jaden Daniels also had 17 carries for 7 yards as well. Zach Ertz catching a receiving touchdown, leading the team in receiving yardage as well at 64 yards. And then Debo catching one other touchdown pass on the day as well, with Trez Way kicking, of course, Matt Gay, kicking 4 of those points, going 1 for 3 on field goals. I'm actually curious, if he would have made those 2 other field goals, how close would the game have been going into the final minute of the game? That Packers defense played really well, which we will talk about right now. Jordan Love, of course, 19 of 31, 292 yards on the day, 2 touchdown passes as well. Josh Jacobs, 84 yards of 23 carries, 1 rushing touchdown on the day for him. Tucker Kraft catching a touchdown. Romeo Doubs catching a touchdown as well. They did not get the ball at all to Matthew Golden, which sucks because I have him on my fantasy team, and he got a goose egg points, which is actually wild. The defense, I believe, did have an interception on the day as well. And then kicking-wise, Brandon McManus, 2 for 3, 9 points in kicking as well. So the Packers getting the job done at home against the Commanders, and they will be contending for the NFC Championship in 2025. All right, moving on to our next game up, which, of course, was probably the game of the year, which we'll talk about here in a second. The Giants going into the Cowboys, 77 points were scored in this game. This was the ball game. How about them Cowboys, ladies and gentlemen? However, let us talk about Russell Wilson first, though, because he absolutely balled out. 30 of 41, 450 passing yards, 3 touchdowns on the day. Did have the interception late in the game for the Cowboys to seal the deal. That's what you want out of a quarterback other than the interception that he threw at the end of the game. However, he balled the frick out. Yes, he did. Cam Scatterbo, 45 yards, 1 rushing touchdown on the day as well for the rookie. Malik Neighbors, 2 touchdown passes. I was playing against Malik Neighbors, so I was absolutely pissed that this game went that way. But hey, it is what it is. Cowboys get the job done regardless. 9 receptions, 167 yards for Malik. 1 touchdown for Wan'Dale Robinson as well, as it looked like Russ was distributing the ball. Had that absolutely insane deep pass there at the end of the game to take the lead with 3 seconds left. Cowboys drive there, of course, get into field goal range. Absolutely wild. Let us go ahead and talk about Graham Gano, though. 3 of 3. 100%. His longest was 40-yard field goal, 13 points on the day. Fantasy unders, if you had him, you were absolutely loving life from your fantasy kicker. Now, let us talk about the Cowboys because that is the team that won the game. Dak Prescott, 35 of 52, 361 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception early in the second half. Javonte Williams, 97 rushing yards, 1 touchdown as well. Miles Sanders had a rushing touchdown on the day. Love to see the running backs getting involved, which Javonte Williams broke some tackles, man, towards the end of the game, and he is probably the sole reason that we won that game. So Javonte Williams, don't know where he has been throughout his NFL career, but he has found a home as the starting running back in Dallas, and I cannot be more excited to have him in Big D. CeeDee Lamb led the team in receiving yardage with 112, however, no touchdowns, which absolutely sucked for me because he is on my fantasy team as well. George Pickens, 168 yards, 1 touchdown on the day, with Kevontae Turpin also catching 1 touchdown on the day, but he headed to the locker room early in that game with an injury. So hopefully he's okay. Also, Cooper Beebe is also hurt. He's out for 6 to 8 weeks, so hopefully he comes back and can be a big part of that offensive line very soon. And, of course, how can we forget the man himself, Brandon Aubrey, the sole reason why we won this football game. 16 points, his longest 64-yard field goal to go into overtime. Then, in overtime, kicking the game-winning field goal to get the job done for the Dallas Cowboys and what potentially could be the game of the year as the Cowboys get the job done at home against the Giants. Dak Prescott's streak against the Giants continues. Next game up, we had the Seahawks going into the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers has had his work cut out for him this week after what happened last weekend against the Jets where they did win. However, Seattle, 31 points. I know some fans were chanting, calling Milroe to come in the game, but Sam Darnold looked really good, and I believe he's going to be that guy for this team this year. 22 of 33, 295, 2 touchdowns, yes, 2 interceptions. However, the Steelers didn't really do anything off of those interceptions, so you got to hand it to the Seahawks defense for getting that job done. Kenneth Walker, 105 yards, 1 rushing touchdown. A lot of people hating on Kenneth Walker right now. Looks to be back as he led the team in rushing. JSN, 103 yards, 0 touchdowns, led the team in receiving. Cooper Kupp had 90 yards or so. Troy Horton had one receiving touchdown, and AJ Barner had a receiving touchdown as well. So there's your 2 touchdowns. Jason Myers, 1 for 2, 7 points on the day as well, as the Seahawks get the job done over the Steelers. Now, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers, as Mason Rudolph did come into the game there towards the end. 16 of 33, 203, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Did struggle there in that game thanks to that Seattle defense. Jaylen Warren, 48 yards of 12 carries rather on the day. Also led the team in receiving with 86 yards as well. DK Metcalf did have a receiving touchdown, so that connection still is going to be strong. And then the kicker, Chris Boswell, kicking 9 of those points as the Steelers do fall to the Seahawks in week number 2 of NFL football. All right, moving on to our next game here, the Rams going into the Titans. I thought I picked the Titans. I want to say that I picked the Titans in my NFL prediction video. However, Matthew Stafford and the Rams do get the job done. 23 of 33, 298 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception against this Titans defense. Yes, I know, but Kyren Williams, 68 yards on the day. Rushing-wise, Puka, 1 receiving touchdown, 45 yards, 1 rushing touchdown rather, 1 rushing touchdown for Blake Corum as well. Devontae Adams catching a receiving touchdown, and Davis Allen catching a receiving touchdown as well, with Devontae Adams leading the way in receiving yardage with 108. I don't know, man. Devontae Adams could be reviving his career. Joshua Carty, 9 points as well to have a huge win for the Los Angeles Rams over the Titans. I thought Cam Ward didn't play too bad. 175 yards on the day, 1 touchdown as well. 19 of 33. Tony Pollard led the team in rushing. He looks to be elite, man. I don't know why we let him walk, but he has been producing some numbers for this Titans offense so far. Calvin Ridley, 57 yards, led the team in receiving. Eric Amior, the rookie out of Miami, receiving a touchdown pass from Cam Ward as well. And then Joey Sly going 4 for 4 with 13 points. That was absolutely insane. Kickers in the NFL this week did their job, that's for sure, as the Rams get the job done over the Titans in Nashville. All right, moving on to our next game, the Jets hosting the Bills, and the Jets falling, only scoring 10 points. Hey, I don't know what they were saying about Aaron Glenn being a defensive-minded kind of guy, but it's definitely not working so far over there in New York, as Tyrod Taylor, 7 for 11, 1 touchdown pass on the day, came in garbage time. Justin Fields did get hurt and had to be taken out of the game. He only had 3 passing completions, though, for 27 yards. Garrett Wilson led the team in receiving with 50 yards on the day. Jeremy Ruckert caught a receiving touchdown as well. And then the kicker, Nick Folk, scoring 4 of those 10 points for the Jets. Josh Allen, on the other hand, 14 of 25, 148 yards, absolutely dominating the Jets defense. James Cook, 132 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and then, of course, Elijah Moore rushing for a touchdown as well. Joshua Palmer leading the team in receiving with 47 yards. Keon Coleman had 26 yards receiving, and then, of course, the kicker, Matt Prater having 12 of those points, going 3 for 3 on field goals. Kickers may be the MVP of this week, that's for sure, for every other NFL team in the league, as the Jets fall to, of course, the Buffalo Bills and start 0-2 in the Aaron Glenn era. All right, moving on, we had the Dolphins hosting the Patriots and falling to the Patriots in Miami. Clock's ticking, man. Any point, we could be getting that notification that, of course, Mike McDaniel will have been fired. 0-2 right now. We'll see if he can pick it up. But, I mean, when you lose to Daniel Jones and the Colts in week 1, you kind of just go ahead and fire the dude right now. Tua did do pretty mid. 26 of 32, 315, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception on the day. Devon Achane, 30 rushing yards as well. Tyreek Hill, 109 yards. Devon Achane having a receiving touchdown. Jaylen Waddle having a receiving touchdown as well. And then, of course, the kicker, Riley Patterson with 9 of those points. I'm still shocked that Mike McDaniel does have a job after this week, because if they lose next week, he is definitely going to be gone. Drake May on the other side for the Patriots, 19 of 23, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day. Absolutely balled out for the Patriots offense. Ramondre Stevenson, 54 yards. Drake May had a rushing touchdown as well. Ramondre Stevenson leading the team in receiving with 88 yards. Helps when your running back can actually catch the ball too. With Keyshawn Boutte catching a receiving touchdown and Mac Hollins catching a receiving touchdown as well. With Andres Borglass having 7 of those points, going 2 for 2 on field goals, as the Patriots beat the Dolphins in Miami, and they will contend for an AFC East title this year. All right, next game up, of course, is the Jags going into Cincinnati. Trevor Lawrence, 24 of 42, 271, 3 touchdown passes on the day, and 2 interceptions. Sealed the deal for the Bengals there at the end of the game. Travis Etienne, 71 rushing yardage, 0 touchdowns on the day. Parker Washington leading the team in receiving. And, of course, Darani Brown having 1 receiving touchdown, with Tutton having another receiving touchdown. Tootin, man, he might be the dude there in Jacksonville. Balling out last week and this week as well. Cam Little, 2 for 2. Longest was 42 on the day, 9 points as well, as the Jags do fall to the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, let's take a look at the Cincinnati Bengals, because Joe Burrow did get hurt. Prayers up for Joe Burrow, as he is a former LSU alumni. Hopefully, he can bounce back from this injury and be on the field soon, and that recovery will be very short for him. 7 of 13 yards, though, 1 touchdown pass before he did get taken out of the game. Jake Browning came in, though, and balled out. Obviously, he did have 3 interceptions, but that's going to happen when you play one of the best players in the league, and Travis Hunter. 21 of 32, 241, 2 passing touchdowns as well. The defense for the Bengals did help them there at the end of the game, which, of course, is a shocker there, I know. Jake Browning also having a rushing touchdown. Jamar Chase having a receiving touchdown, leading the way with 165 receiving yards. 56 yards for T and 1 touchdown on the day too, with Evan McPherson going 1 for 1 and 7 points as well, as the Bengals get the job done with Joe Burrow being sidelined. All right, next game up, we had the 49ers going into New Orleans to play the Aints on the road. Yes, the Aints, that's what I like to call them. Now, San Francisco looking really good, but let us talk about Spencer Rattler for a second. 25 of 34, 207, 3 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. However, that kicking where they missed those 2 field goals early on, or allowed the 49ers to score those 2 field goals early on, I don't know, man. The Saints might have won that game if it wasn't for those 2, because Spencer Rattler in the second half absolutely balled out. Alvin Kamara still doing what he's doing at this old of an age right now. 99 rushing yards, 21 carries. Not a terrible day for him. Olave leading the team in receiving with 54 yards. Rashid Shaheed, 1 receiving touchdown on the day. Jawan Johnson had a receiving touchdown on the day. And Dewan Vale also having a receiving touchdown on the day as well. Blake Groupie kicking 3 points. Wonder if they would have utilized him more and they would have got the job done over at or against the 49ers as well. However, let's talk about Mac Jones. Balled out as well in New Orleans. 26 of 39, 279, 3 touchdowns on the day. CMC, 55 yards or so. Looks like he got the ball to his playmakers a little bit, with Juwan Jennings having 89 yards or so, 1 receiving touchdown on the day. Christian McCaffrey having a receiving touchdown on the day. And Luke Farnell having a receiving touchdown on the day as well. So, obviously, Mac Jones was getting the ball. And then, of course, Eddie Pinheiro, the former Carolina Panther, went 2 for 2 with 8 points. So not a bad day at the office for the 49ers with injured Brock Purdy. I think Mac Jones is going to be a very suitable backup for them, and they could potentially be going 4-0 when Purdy comes back. Next game up, we got the Ravens hosting the Browns, and in a game where I'm going to be real with y'all, didn't really watch a lot of it. However, let's talk about it. Joe Flacco, 25 of 45, 199 yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 interception. Looks like Dylan Gabriel got in the game a little bit. 3 for 3, 19 yards, and 1 touchdown as well. Quinshon Judkins, 61 yards as well for the running back for the Browns. And, of course, Jerry Jeudy leading the way with receiving with 52 yardage, but Cedric Tillman and Dylan Sampson both receiving touchdowns on the day, as Andrew Smith, the kicker, kicking 5 of those points. Now, let's talk about the Ravens here, because Lamar balled out as well with 19 of 29, 225 yards, 4 passing touchdowns on the day. Derrick Henry not getting in the end zone at all. 23 yards only for the dude, but they really didn't even need it, because D-Hop catching a receiving touchdown, Devontae Walker having 2 receiving touchdowns on the day, and then of course Tyrone Wallace had a receiving touchdown, with Zay Flowers leading the way at 75 receiving yards. Tyler Loop, 11 points, 2 for 2. Not bad, as the Baltimore Ravens do get the job done at home against the Browns. All right, moving on to our next game here. We have the Bears versus the Lions in a divisional matchup. I believe I picked the Lions in this one, so I got that pick right. However, Caleb Williams looked absolutely terrible, especially in that second half. 19 of 30, 207 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. DeAndre Swift with a rushing touchdown as well. 63 yards on the ground for the running back. Roman Dunze, 2 receiving touchdowns, 128 yards for him. And then, of course, the kicker, Carlos Santos, 3 of those points. As the Bears offense, I don't really know what to make of it right now. If they play like they did in the first half against the Vikings, then they're elite. But if they play like they played then they're not so great. So I don't know what's going to happen with Ben Johnson and crew, but we shall see regardless. Jared Goff, 23 of 38, 334 yards, 5 touchdown passes on the day for the GOAT. Of course, Jahmyr Gibbs having a rushing touchdown. David Montgomery having a rushing touchdown, with Jahmyr Gibbs leading the way at 94 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 9 of 15, or 9 receptions for 115 yards, 3 receiving touchdowns. Jameson Williams, 2 receiving touchdowns, 108 yards, 1 touchdown on the day. And then Brock White receiving touchdown for the Lions too, with Jake Bates, 1 of 2, 10 points on the day, and balled out for this Detroit Lions team as they bounce back with the win against a division rival in the Chicago Bears. All right, next game up on the slate. Of course, we're starting off the 305 slate with a bang. The Broncos going into the Colts. Daniel Jones and the Colts starting out 2-0 on the year. Yes, you heard that correctly. Bo Nix, 22 of 30, 206 yards, 3 touchdowns on the day, 1 interception for the former Auburn quarterback. J.K. Dobbins, 1 receiving touchdown, 76 yards. R.J. Harvey barely did anything with 8 yards rushing. Yes, you heard that correctly. Troy Franklin, 89 yards, 1 touchdown. Marvin Mims, 1 touchdown as well. And then Adam Totman, 1 receiving touchdown for the Broncos, with Will Lutz going 4 points. I think if Will Lutz would have made his only field goal attempt, they would have won the game against Daniel Jones. But let us talk about Danny Dimes for a second, because he balled out. 23 of 34, 316, one passing touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, 165 rush yards, one rushing touchdown for Daniel Jones as well. Tyler Warren getting the ball to his playmakers, 79 yards receiving wise. Jonathan Taylor receiving a touchdown pass from Danny Dimes as well. And then the kicker, Spencer Strader. I love that name for whatever reason. It's an amazing name. Spencer Strader went 5 for 5, 17 points. Yes, almost half of the Colts' points were from the kicker. I don't know what it is this week, but the kicking game has been on point, and the Colts get the job done at home against the Broncos to improve to 2-0 on the season. Next game up, of course, in the 3:05 slot time, we have the Panthers going into the Cardinals. Man, I watched this game at work. I went, obviously, at the end of the game. Bryce Young in the second half balled out. Maybe I just don't need to watch the Panthers because they have played really good every time that I don't watch them. So Bryce Young, 35 of 55, 328. His most passing yards in his career. 3 touchdown passes on the day, one interception early in the first half. Second half, balled out, got the onside kick. However, his offensive line, if they would have blocked for him, I believe we would have won that game, because the dude was trying to win that game for this Carolina team. Chuba Hubbard, 38 yards. Don't know where his performance from last week went translating into this one. Xavier Legette did awful. Teteroa McMillan looks elite, 100 receiving yards. Chuba Hubbard with the receiving touchdown. Hunter Renfrow with 2 receiving touchdowns. But if he would have caught the other one that was thrown at him, we would have won the game. Yes, you heard that correctly. Teteroa McMillan balled out as well. Like I said, the rookie Jatavion Sanders also balled out with 54 yards on the day for him. And Xavier Legette, -2 yards. Get this man off the field. I don't know what to do about this man. I really don't. The defense did have an interception thanks to DJ Wanham as well, as they played really good in the second half. And Ryan Fitzgerald, 1 for 1, 4 points on the day for the Panthers. Now, let us talk about the Cardinals, because they played really well with Kyler Murray. 17 of 25, 220 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception for the Cardinals. James Conner, 34 yards, 1 receiving touchdown. Trey McBride leading the team in receiving with 78 yards. And Michael Wilson with the 1 receiving touchdown from Kyler Murray. And Chad Ryland going 2 for 2 with 9 points from the Cardinals. I firmly believe, like I said, if they would have blocked for Bryce Young, and now our 2 starters are out the game, or out for a period of time right now with Okonwu and, of course, Akeem, this team would have won that game. Bryce Young hopefully will improve by the time the Falcons come to town in Carolina for our home opener, as the Panthers fall to the Cardinals in a very close matchup. And, of course, the game everybody was talking about this weekend, the Super Bowl rematch between the Chiefs and the Eagles. Mahomes trying to make a comeback here. I thought the NFL was not going to allow the Chiefs to start out 0-2, but hey, I was wrong, and I'm glad I was wrong, because Patrick Mahomes definitely deserved to lose that game. 15 of 29, 167 passing yards, 1 touchdown on the day, 1 interception as well. Danny Dimes looked better than him this weekend. So did Russell Wilson. Yes, you heard that correctly. 66 yards for rushing for Mahomes, 1 rushing touchdown as well. Travis Kelce didn't really do much either. 61 yards on the day for him. Traquan Thornton receiving touchdown for the Chiefs there late in the half. And then Harrison Butker with 5 points for the Chiefs to close out their scoring. Jalen Hurts, 15 of 22, 101 yards on the day for him. Saquon Barkley, 88 yards, 1 touchdown. Jalen Hurts with a rushing touchdown as well. And Devontae Smith, 53 passing yards on the day for the receiver. Looks like A.J. Brown actually got targeted, so it is an improvement from last week, as he, of course, he had 27 yards receiving. And then Jake Elliott went 2 for 2 with 8 points as the Eagles escaped the Chiefs in the Super Bowl rematch that everyone was talking about this weekend, and the Eagles are now 2-0 on the year. Last but certainly not least, this video is being pre-recorded before the games tonight on Monday, so we will have these reactions up for you guys, the Monday night games, but those will be edited in place. But last but not least, on Sunday, we had the Vikings hosting the Atlanta Falcons. J.J. McCarthy, 11 of 21, 2 interceptions on the day, did struggle with 158 passing yards as well. Jordan Mason led the team in rushing with 30 carries, and it is believed to be that J.J. McCarthy is going to be hurt. So the Vikings are in the market for a new quarterback. Could it be Kirk O'Chains? Could it be Jameis Winston? Who knows? But Justin Jefferson led the way in receiving with 81 yards. Like to see that, as he was trying to get the ball to Justin Jefferson. And then Will Riker, 2 for 2 with 6 points for the Vikings. Michael Penix, on the other hand, 13 of 21, 135 yards. Tyler Algier led the team, or had a touchdown, but Bijan Robinson, 143 rushing yards for the Falcons. Drake London, 49 yards over 3 carries as well. And the kicker, John Parco Romo, the MVP of the night, was asked if he even knew who his teammates were. Literally just got signed this week because of Younghoe Koo being out. 16 points. Yes, half of the points, actually more than half of the points, came from the kicker. Absolutely wild week for kickers in the NFL as the Falcons get the job done on the road in Minnesota to go 1-1 on the season. And of course, how can we forget the 2 Monday Night Football games that literally just happened? So this is like an instant reaction for me, for you guys. However, it's going to be edited into the video. First game up, we had the Texans hosting the Bucs in a banger of a matchup. C.J. Stroud, 13 of 24, 207 yards, 1 touchdown on the night as well. Nick Chubb, 43 yards with 1 rushing touchdown. And Nico Collins leading the way with a touchdown and 52 receiving yards for the Texans. Now, as we look at the Buccaneers side of things, Baker Mayfield, 25 of 53, or 38, 215 yards, 2 passing touchdowns on the day. Looked like he was trying to get it done there for the Bucs at the end of the game, and they won. Baker Mayfield also rushing for 33 yards with Rachaad White having an injury, but 65 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown on the day, and it was Bucky Irving, of course, leading the way in yardage with 71 yards. Also, Sterling Shepard, or Emeka Egbuka, catching a deep touchdown pass from, of course, the man himself, Baker Mayfield. And then Cade Otton catching a touchdown pass from Baker Mayfield as well. So, again, Bucs offense looked really good in that first half. That second half, it was all defense, and the Bucs got it done behind the legs of Baker Mayfield with 9 seconds left as they get the win on Monday Night Football. And our final game of the night, we have the Chargers going on to 2-0 on the year. Geno Smith struggled in this game. 3 interceptions, 1 interception on the first play of the game. 24-43, 180 yards, 0 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Ashton Jeanty only 43 yards on the ground. Jacoby Myers, 68 yards as well. And Daniel Carlson went 3 for 3, War Damn Eagle in that one with 9 points on the day for him. So he scored all of the points for the Raiders, and they eventually do fall to the Los Angeles Chargers. Let's talk about them, though, as Justin Herbert, 19 of 27, 242, 2 touchdowns on the day with 31 yards rushing, leading the team. Quentin Johnson leading the team in receiving with 71 and a touchdown. Keenan Allen catching a touchdown, and Ladd McConkey making some huge plays there at the end of the game with 48 yards as well. And Cameron Dicker, the kicker, 8 points on 2 for 2 from field goal range. So the Chargers improved to 2-0. I love to see it, as we are now the favorites to win that AFC West division, thanks to the Chiefs falling 0-2, and it looks like that the Chargers are going to be AFC West champs. Anyway, that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn that bell on so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. This is going to be a really long video, so hopefully you guys enjoy these NFL reactions for the week. Obviously, there's 2 games tonight at the time of me recording this video, but tomorrow we will have, of course, our Big Ten reactions and predictions with the NFL predictions. So stay tuned for that on Wednesday. And then Thursday we'll have SEC reactions and predictions, and, of course, our Road to Glory. So stay tuned full week of content for you guys. Hit that sub button, leave a comment down below so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.